in Gettysburg, Potter County, hosting Miller. We'll get things underway with our pregame show coming your way at around 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, give or take a few minutes, as we will be ahead of the match with our pregame show. And so we are set to go for high school football. Our opening kickoff is brought to you by the region's Phil Cyrus Bobcat dealer, Riverview Power Sports in Oklahoma. Let them order Bobcat equipment that works for you when it comes to travel, work, and fun. Riverview is the name to know for compact equipment, vehicles, boats, and transportation. Learn more at riverviewfamily.com as the White River Tigers in their home or road white uniforms will take on the Raiders, who are dressed in their road black tonight, as we get organized here just a little bit, and we'll get things ready to go. Very nice night for football. We talked about it being 95 degrees last Friday as we were down at Dakota Valley. Here, temperature about 60 degrees as we get set to kick off, and the Raiders with an onside kick, and they are going to cover the football up. Gavin Folkers did the kickoff, and they followed it, and they got on top of it, but did it go far enough? They're going to say no. The Raiders are going to wind up with the football at midfield, but let's wait and see. They kick off from the 40. It got to midfield. The officials are still having a conversation at midfield, and it's going to be White River football. And what a way to start the football game. If you're 1-2, you're struggling just a little bit with the football, or with their record so far. And and knock it in complete, and it will bring up a fourth down situation for White River. Tigers again rolling the dice on the opening kickoff as they onside it. They were able to cover it up. They did have possession, but not able to move the football, and now White River will punt the football away, and Tegan Gorneau will let it bounce, and then he'll pick it up. Tries to work to the right side, needs a block out front. He'll try to outrun the coverage, and he gets the corner turn to good field position for the Raiders, as he'll bring the football up across the 40 to near the 45-yard line. The 44 is where they'll place it, and Lyman will have the football there, 1st and 10. The Raiders 3-0 on the season. Quarterback Tegan Gorneau, the 185-pound senior. Dance Wagner in the backfield, another senior, along with wideout Cooper Long, the offensive leaders for this Lyman Raiders squad. As they look to pick up their 4th victory of the season. And believe it or not, folks, we are at the halfway mark of the regular season of high school football in the 9-man ranks. Gorneau with a pistol look this time, takes the snap, quick pass thrown. It's caught by Long. He'll get a block, and then to the outside he goes, down to the 40, inside the 40, and bumped out of bounds. They're in coverage for White River. That is Evestine Wright. But good play there, good pitch and catch, and a safe play there for the Raiders as Long makes the catch, gets a block to the outside from Oldenkamp, and that allows Long to get down the sideline, and that will be a first down. They start at their own 44. They move the football down to the 43-yard line of White River, and that is a 13. Here. Line. So on a 2nd and 8 situation, they get about 8, maybe 8.5 yards. That is enough to move the chains, and it will be a first down for Lyman as they operate here on their first possession of the contest, their 4th play from scrimmage. This drive started at their own 44-yard line. Gorneau once again with a pistol look, right hash mark. Quick pass thrown upfield, and it's almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Riley Bauman, and actually that pass just got there quicker than Bauman was ready for it. But boy, he was in the right position. as Gorno threw it behind the intended receiver. And the pass, Bauman might have had some running room as well if he would have been able to hang on to it. But he could not. The ball harmlessly drops incomplete. And a break for Lyman. Lyman 6 and White River 0. And we'll be back for the Raider kickoff in 1 minute on KPLO.
Welcome to White River's gathering spot for family and friends. Lance and Tracy Tucker, new owners of the Roundup Bar and Grill, invite you to join them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The Roundup Bar and Grill offers great food, great service, and cold beverages. Lance and Tracy are looking forward to seeing you at the Roundup. Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and midnight on weekends, with breakfast and noon specials. Let's go Tigers! Best of luck to the White River Tigers from the Roundup Bar and Grill in White River.
Chamberlain Ready Mix has been serving the Chamberlain area since 1952, providing outstanding customer service on any job. With 8 radio dispatch trucks, you can rest assured they'll have your concrete there on time when you need it. Chamberlain Ready Mix can handle any ready mix task with their concrete pumping service, whether it's delivery for a basement, road, or any other concrete need. For all of your ready mix needs, contact Chamberlain Ready Mix today, 734-5741, 734-5741.
Well, Lyman tries an onside kick on their kickoff after scoring the touchdown, and White River is able to cover it up. The Tigers will have good field position again, their second possession of this opening quarter. They'll have the football at their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10. The scoring drive for and along with Cooper Long, we're back there in coverage, and Folkers just got rid of the football, threw it well out of bounds, and it will bring up a 3rd down and call it 14 for White River. 6-0, Lyman has the lead. As Folkers takes a high shotgun snap and is back to pass. Steps up and has the ball knocked away, and the ball is loose. Picked up by Lyman. That ball was poked out of Folkers' hands, and there to pick up the loose football was Cooper, and pass is caught down. Cooper Long's second touchdown reception. The second touchdown throw for Tegan Gorno. And that is a play that covered some 34 yards after the Aaron Erickson interception. Dive where the White River defense cheated up to protect the run. Raiders stayed in that same formation, that I formation. The defense cheated up again. This time they went play action and went deep and wide open with Cooper Long from 34 yards out. Gorno in the pistol this time. As Long will go in motion, they hand it off in a running play. Rory McManus gets down to the 41-yard line. He'll pick up 3 on that first down run. For White River, Haston Wooden Knife and others in there to make the stop. Riot Wooden Knife in there as well. We'll call it a gain of 3. It will bring up 2nd down and 7 as the clock works to the 6:20 mark. Remaining in this opening quarter. It is 14-0 Lyman. Raiders trying to improve to 4-0 on the season as they have looked good offensively here. And again, White River is going to stack against the run as Lyman comes up in an I formation look. Long as that slot man on the right side of the formation, which is the wide side of the field. They'll pitch it back to Wagner. Wagner looks for running room. A block out there, and Wagner will hustle his way to the sideline, and he'll get the corner turned and get inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Eventual pursuit from Tegan Bauman to make the stop for White River, but Wagner was able to turn the corner and move the chains, and it will be a first down for Lyman. Raiders trying to work quickly here as Gorno gets the play from the side. There's 8 for White River. And Lyman will 18 remains here in the opening quarter. It is Lyman 21. And it is White River 0. And Lyman will kick off in 1 minute. KPL.
Local business in the community. And BJ's Food Center in Kennebec takes pride in providing for every from a local store.
Egg Pioneer Seeds in Presho.
We would like to say hello to those of you joining us worldwide at our website, drgnews.com. 21-0 Lyman. Tegan Gorno this time will kick it deep. And it is Riot Woodenknife who will field from his own 15-yard line on the return. He brings it up across the 15 near the 20. And then he backtracks a little bit as he turns his way trying to find some extra yardage, and good pursuit on the part of the Raiders, and Woodenknife will lose ground back to the 18-yard line, and White River will have the football there, 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Making the tackle, Isaac McManigal, and others on kick coverage for the Raiders. Will hand it off and out to the 43-yard line. So a pickup of about 23 yards on that pass play will give White River their first down of the ballgame. Clock with running, 3:30 remaining in our opening quarter. Volkers again out of the gun, back to pass, rolling right. And now instead of a second short, it's going to wind up being a 2nd down and 6 situation. And White River will work themselves in and out of the huddle once again. Volkers about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Shotgun look, back to pass as he rolls to his left now. Penalty flag comes out, and whatever happens here is going to come back as Volkers will run the football, and Rory McManus will run him down and force him out of bounds at about the 49-yard line, but a penalty marker is going to fly. Coverage back there by Cooper Long, Tegan Gorno, Conway Collins were back there for Lyman. There were 2 receivers for White River, 3 defensive backs for Lyman, and eventually the Raiders were able to get a hand on it and knock it incomplete, and it will be 4th down. And Gavin Folkers will and now getting set to put the football. That's their second penalty on this drive. It will move it back. Reception from Tegan Gorno. That was the first touchdown of the ball game. Second touchdown with a 34-yard pass play, long from Gorno. The third touchdown for the Raiders with a Tance Wagner 32-yard touchdown run. An empty backfield here for Tegan Gorno with 3 wide receivers. They throw the screen out to Long, who goes down the sideline. A penalty marker is out. Long will go in for a touchdown, and that was a good throw from the side judge. He threw that penalty back long ways, and this play is going to come back. We think is for the call. There was one flag that came out. The second one quickly as Long had went into the end zone for an easy touchdown, but again, let's sort this out as it looks like it's going to be a penalty that's going to be called against the Lyman Raiders. For Lyman, it will be their first pencil and a timeout taken by White River, as they will take it here to line up their defense. With 11:09 remaining in the first half, 21-0, Lyman leads, and we will break for 60 seconds on KPLO.
There's Thursday night lights and all of the weekend highlights, but nothing beats Monday nights with Monday Night Football on Venture High Def TV. You'll catch all the action starting Monday, September 12th. Tune into ESPN Channel 21 as the Broncos head to Lyman Field and take on the Seahawks at 7 p.m. Venture Communications, your home for ESPN and Monday Night Football. Call Venture Communications today for High Def TV service and more. 852-2224.
The future of our region lies in the young people who are involved in athletics, music, art, and drama, and the many other activities in our schools. Kimball Livestock Exchange in Kimball congratulates everyone that contributes and competes. We're proud of you all and happy to support the
distance as White River slung it into double coverage. Folkers with a strong arm gets it into double coverage and making the catch with quick ups, and he takes a touchdown, and White River on the board. 10-3 remaining second quarter, and now the Tigers get to go for kickoff in 1 minute on KPLO.
The staff at Dakota Prairie Bank is proud to support our young athletes in tonight's game. This time of year isn't just busy for them, but moms and dads and other sports fans as well. So when you're on the go, Dakota Prairie Bank provides services that make banking simpler for you, like their online banking. It's quick and convenient, and a big help during this busy time of year. Good luck to all the participants from your fans at Dakota Prairie Bank, located in Fort Pierre with branches in Presho, Draper, and River, member FDIC.
Dakota Prairie Bank.
Hi, this is John at Car Swap for Jeep Ram here in Chamberlain, South Dakota. We're having a huge truck blowout sale per unit. Now that includes all rebates, including
Scoring drive for White River. They go 85 yards in one play. Kendall Quabos from Gavin Folkers. Tegan Bowman with a Gavin Folkers, receiving a Gavin Folkers pass for the 2-point conversion. 29-8. Again, White River will kick it short. Well, they try to onside, and Lyman gets on top of it, and the Raiders will have good field position from their own 47-yard line. Lyman will have the football 1st and 10. Still a lot of time in this first half. 10:01 remains in this second quarter of football. Homecoming night for the Lyman Raiders. And an I formation look. Pitch back Wagner looking for running room a little more and a little more as he works down the sideline on a stiff arm. Creates some space. He breaks another tackle and he will take it in for a touchdown. That is a 53-yard Terrence Wagner run. And the Raiders answer the touchdown in a hurry. That is 53 yards for Terrence Wagner. For Wagner, that is his second touchdown of the ball game. And just like that, we see more points. It is 35-8 now, as Lyman will get set to go for the 2-point conversion. Jake Millard back out there as he tries to attempts to kick the extra point. out of a hold from the freshman Conway Collins. And here's the snap, a good one. Collins gets it down. The kick is up, but it is well offline and no good. And the kick fails. And with 9:48 remaining here in the first half, it is a 35-8 lead for the Lyman Raiders. And Lyman will kick off in 1 minute on KPLO.
The Sweet Spot America Hotel and Business Center is now open in White River. Sweet Spot America offers pristine hotel rooms, conference room, fitness center, art and gift gallery, and wedding venue options, as well as a photography studio, massage therapist, and Sinta Gleska University's GED program. 2 spaces still available for rent. General Ed and VOTEC classes will be starting soon. Call 259-3939 for more information. Good luck, White River Tigers, from Sweet Spot America Hotel and Business Center.
One thing I don't miss about football, the workouts. Hi, folks. This is RF Bowie, the owner of the Gus Stops and Bowie Foods. I have a lot of for the St. practice. You cheat in the game, you'll cheat the rest of your life. Always give your best and good luck in Gus Stop convenience stores and Bowie Foods. Spend less and eat better.
32-yard line, as that time there were just too many defenders there for Lyman Rikers. Scholl was in there, number 21 Kellen Griffin as well, and this White River offensive line has some size, but what Lyman has is some speed, especially in the linebacker position, and that time they decided to just blitz the quarterback, and Lyman just sent too many guys for White River to block, and Folkers is sacked back to the 33-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 14. Folkers out of the shotgun. It's a double wing look for White River. Folkers back to pass again. The blitz comes. Pass thrown upfield. It is caught. The reception made by Tegan Bowman, and Bowman will cross the 40, and he'll get to the 43-yard line, and another nice pitch and catch there. And this is not bad coverage that Lyman has had on those last 2 successful pass plays. White River has just been able to throw the football well, and Gavin Folkers, 6'3", 215-pound senior. He's able, when he has time, can stand tall in the pocket. He's got a good, strong, accurate arm, and he has been able to get that football squeezed into coverage, and that has helped him put points on the board. It's a 3rd down. It's a manageable 3rd down and 4 situation here for White River. And playbook wide open. Raiders with 3 down linemen will try to chase down Folkers, who fires it upfield. The pass is caught, but was he inbound? They're going to say it's incomplete. There is a penalty marker down back behind the line of scrimmage, so let's sort that out. But again, the pass thrown incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down. It's another holding penalty against White River. And this will be a penalty that Lyman will accept, as they are going to move the football back inside the 30 and to the 27-yard line. Another 10-yard penalty for White River. That is their 6th penalty of the ball game. We'll replay 3rd down, but instead of a 3rd and short, it's going to be 3rd down, about 21 yards to go. Clock working to 8:15 remaining in the first half. 35-8, the lead to the Lyman Raiders. Out of the gun, Folkers. Back to pass, rolling to his right. Slings it out of bounds. Nowhere to go with it. The pressure was there, and Folkers just got rid of it. In fast pursuit of the quarterback Folkers was Louis Theory, the 230-pound junior for Lyman. Pass incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down. And we'll see what White River does here. Really deep in their territory to go for it, but again, they started out the ball game with an onside kick, and it looks like they're going to go for it here. 2 receivers to the left side of the formation. Folkers back to pass. Folkers now rolling, and a penalty flag comes out. Folkers is going to be brought down, and This is all going to depend on the penalty after Folkers is sacked. I think that's the 4th time he's been sacked in this first half. And now the officials will have a conversation. We'll talk about the penalty. It's another holding call against White River. Lyman will decline it and will wind up with good field position at the White River 21-yard line. So as we wait for him to place the football, it'll actually be where the sack occurred, not the line of scrimmage. So pardon me. They moved the football back to the 17-yard line. And that is where Lyman will have the football 1st and 10. They still have all 3 of their timeouts left to use, as Gorno will work in the shotgun this time. A pistol look with Wagner lined up alongside. They will bunch to the wide side of the field. This looks like a run to me as Gorno gets set to handle that shotgun snap. A long count by the quarterback Gorno, and now a penalty marker flies, and this is a false start on Lyman. Lyman commits their 2nd penalty of the ball game. That moves it back 5 yards and to the White River 22-yard line. But Lyman was trying to overload that wide side of the field that time. And they're going to line up in that same formation once again. Gorno out of the gun, takes the snap and is back to pass. Has time, throws the deep ball, and it is over the head of Cooper Long and incomplete. Good coverage down there that time as the Tigers were down there. Evestine Wright, number 2, Kendall Cuevas back there in coverage. And it will bring up 2nd down and 15. 35-8 is our score. Clock stopped with 7:46 remaining in the first half. We will have a lot of scoring to talk about in our halftime report, brought to you by the folks at Buy Right Seat. Raiders, I formation look this time. Blitz comes from White River. Raiders will give it off to Wagner, who looks for running room, needs a block to get to the outside. He outruns Kendall Cuevas, and now Wagner, with a carry, will get the football inside the 5 before he is forced out of bounds. Touchdown saving tackle for Riley Bauman. But in the meantime, Terrence Wagner showing some good legs there as he bounces to the outside and is able to get the football down to the 5-yard line. And again, showing good patient running. It will be 1st down and goal for the 5 for the Lyman Raiders. Raiders trying to add to the lead. It's now 35-8. And for the Raiders, this is the 4th play of a drive after White River was sacked on 4th down that started at the Tiger 22-yard line. Gorno under center. And Gorno will keep it himself. The bootleg left, and he will race to the end zone, and he is in for a touchdown. 5-yard Tegan Gorno run. That time he just faked the pitch to Wagner's short side, and then Gorno just ran the bootleg to the outside and the wide side of the field and just outran everybody to the end zone. And the Raiders score yet another touchdown here in this 2nd quarter. It is 41-8. Again, Jake Millard is out there. Conway Collins will hold. And Millard will get set to try to kick the extra point. He needs to swing through it like he did on the first kick attempt he had. Low snap, Collins will dig it out, and Millard gets a hold of this one, and that is good. 7:29 remains here in the first half. It is a 42-8 lead for the Lyman Raiders, and we will take a timeout and return. Coverage of regional high school football will continue on KPLO.
Access Health Presho in Kennebec welcomes new and established patients, offering chronic and acute care for all ages, including evaluation for illness and injuries, immunizations, lab testing, wellness exams, and DOT and sports physicals. Same-day appointments are available, and most major insurances are accepted. Good luck this season, athletes, from Access Health Presho and Kennebec. assuring access to quality health care.
The Wigwam in White River is proud to be a sponsor of White River High School and youth activities. The Wigwam is your local grocery store offering a great meat department, fresh produce, and friendly local folks ready to help you with your grocery and sundry items. Stop in and check out the everyday savings that the Wigwam is known for. Good luck, Tiger athletes, from everybody at the Wigwam, located in White River, your locally owned and operated grocery store.
$7:29 remaining in the first half. A scoring drive for Lyman. They go 22 yards in 4 plays. A Tegan Gorno 5-yard touchdown run and an extra point kick by Jake Millard makes it 42-8. Tegan Gorno approaches the football, and again, he will pooch kick it, and again, White River will get on top of it. The Tigers, Riley Bauman covers it up. Neither team has been willing to kick deep for some reason. And when they have covered it well, but both teams have liked to be able to kick that squib kick, that short kick. White River, again, with an onside kick to start the football game. And they were able to cover it up and steal that first possession from Lyman. But they weren't able to capitalize on that. The Raiders have had an onside kick that was recovered by the Raiders as well. And here, good field position. This is the 7th possession for White River. It starts at their own 43-yard line. Back to pass, and a good pass thrown. Reception made upfield by Evestine Wright. And Wright will move the football into Raider territory. He's going to be close to first down yardage, but maybe about a half yard short as he moves it to the Raider 47-yard line. And again, a good throw there from the quarterback, Gavin Folkers, who is, when he has had time, and he has been sacked 4 times in this first half, but when he has had time and could stand up in the pocket, is able to throw a very accurate football downfield. He's been able to squeeze it into coverage like he did right there. The Lyman coverage in their secondary in this first half has not been bad. Here is Folkers, a high snap. He'll field, he'll sling it, pass is caught, and again it's Wright who will make the reception, move the chains for the Tigers, and get it inside the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. The tackle for Lyman, Braden Oldenkamp there. Tegan Gorno follows up on the play. But the gain to the Raider 44-yard line picks up about 4 yards on that play. And it will be a first down for White River. The Tigers with 1 timeout remaining in this first half. Lyman has their full complement of 3 timeouts left to use as we work through the final 6 minutes of this first half. Folkers out of the gun, back to pass. Again, has time, and again throws a good ball to the outside. Kendall Cuevas with the reception, and he will pick up 8-9 yards there as the Raiders, Cooper Long comes over and makes the stop, but Cuevas just got to that spot quickly, and Folkers was able to deliver the football on time on a timing route, and it will be a first down. Well, pardon me, it will not be. It's an 8-yard gain. It will bring up 2nd and 2 for White River. 5.5 minutes remain in the first half. Again, Folkers will survey the defense. He works out of the shotgun formation with receivers each way. Folkers upfield, pass is caught by Wright, makes one man miss, tries to make another man miss, and Tegan Gorno with a sure-handed tackle there. Following up on the play with Kellen Griffin, but White River, that's a double-digit gain there as they move the football inside the Raider 30 and down to the 26-yard line. They'll pick up about 14 yards on that play, and it will be a first down for White River. So the Tigers trailing by 34 here, but still, well, they're finding some things that work as they've pretty much abandoned the running game, but that passing game seems to be able to work as Folkers has been able to throw it well, and the receivers have been able to get open from time to time. Here, back to pass, Folkers is under some pressure, and he just has to get rid of it there. And the difference between throwing it out of bounds there and, well, we're going to have a holding penalty, against White River. We'll see what Lyman will do there if they choose to accept this penalty. And it looks like they will accept it, and this will be another 10-yard mark-off, and this will be the 8th penalty of the football game for White River. That will move the football back to the 34, but Folkers just threw that football out of bounds, but there was really nobody within a couple yards of him. When he did throw it, when he was inside in the grasp a few possessions ago, we should say, and they called intentional grounding, it was because he was going to get sacked, and he just threw it to the outside. Gourneau for Lyman on the previous possession for the Raiders did similar thing. But what his situation was is that he had a receiver that was close by, and he got it close enough to him, and that's why he was not called for grounding. Here a pass play upfield. Kenda Cuevas with the reception, and again, Folkers throwing a nice ball upfield. Cuevas with the reception as he brings the football to the Lyman 37-yard line. That will be a pickup of about 4 yards, maybe 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd down and 17 as we work inside of 4 minutes remaining in the first half. 42-8 is our score as Lyman has the lead. Folkers, again with a double wing look, will take the snap. Back to pass. Folkers is going to fire the deep ball upfield, and that's over everybody's head and incomplete. Kendrell Cuevas again with the intended receiver, and these wideouts for White River have run a lot of pass patterns here in this second quarter. Pass is incomplete. It will bring up 3rd down. We'll do some math here. The football needs to go to move the chains to the Raiders' 17-yard line. Currently, the football is setting at the 37-yard line, so it is 3rd down, close to 20 for White River. They're probably in down territory here as well. Folkers again surveys the defense, takes the snap. The Raiders have good pressure. Pass thrown upfield, and it's incomplete as the intended receiver was again Kendrell Cuevas. Pass incomplete, and it will bring up 4th down and about 20. But if you're White River, try to make something happen here. Perhaps pick up the 1st down. But either way, they are going to force Lyman to go the length of the field to put up points. Folkers looking at the wristband as he works the team to the line of scrimmage. It is 4th down and 20. 2 receivers short side. Folkers back to pass. Under some pressure. Now steps up in the pocket. Penalty flag comes out, and Folkers is brought down as the linebackers come up. There was good coverage downfield. The sack from Riker Scholl. And let's sort out the penalty. And again, it looks like it's going to be a penalty against White River. Lyman will decline it. And on that 4th down play, the quarterback, Folkers, is sacked. And that will give Lyman the football at their own 42-yard line officially. They'll have it there 1st and 10, and with 3:19 remaining in the half, the Raiders do have all 3 of their timeouts to work with, and they have shown big playability here in this second quarter. Gourneau will remain at quarterback. Wagner is a wideout to the far right side of the formation. McManus in the backfield with Gourneau. As the snap comes, they'll hand the football off, and this is Rory McManus, and the carry there picks up a good 8-9 yards as he will be submarined by White River's Ethan Watson. But McManus will pick up 9 yards as he moves the football to the midfield stripe, just to the football lengths to the White River side of the 50. It'll be a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 1. The clock will continue to run. Raiders again will break huddle. Kellen Griffin this time with a wide out to the near side, which is the wide side of the field. From the left hash mark, the Raiders take the snap. Gourneau back to pass. Looking, now steps up in the pocket, fires it upfield. He's got long. Pass is caught Cooper Long with the reception, and as he tries to get away from a would-be tackler, winds up stepping out of bounds, but it will wind up being a big play for Lyman all the way to White River's 19-yard line. So they move the football there some 30 yards on that pass play. And Cooper Long just, he was trying to figure out how to set up his defender who was in front of him, between him and the goal line, and as he stepped this way and that, wound up stepping out of bounds. Stops the clock with 2:28 remaining in the half, and for Lyman, again, they find themselves deep into White River territory. Again, they have 3 timeouts to use. Wagner to the near side. Also, there is a wide out right side of the formation, Kellen Griffin. And a handoff to Rory McManus, who breaks a tackle. But a good job there at the point of the tack for Ethan Watson, as he got a hold of McManus, and McManus broke away, but Watson was able to get another hand on him and bring him down for a short gain. It's a gain of a yard, and it moves the football down to the 18, call it the 17-yard line. Gain of about a yard and a half. It will bring up 2nd down and 8. We're down to 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 42-8 is our score as Lyman leads. White River will have the football as we start the second half. Gorno will work under center. An I formation look. They'll give it to McManus, who loses the football, but the Raiders will get it back. McManus did not have that cleanly at all. Damian Abrahamson gets on top of the football to save the possession for Lyman. Lyman will be content here to let the clock run as they pick up about a half a yard to make it 3rd down and 8. And for Lyman, this is probably 4-down territory unless they want to let Jake Millard try a long field goal here on homecoming night. Pitch back, McManus looking for running room. That's the same play. McManus will break a tackle, get to the outside. He's at the 10, at the 5, and he is in for a touchdown. That is an 18-yard Rory McManus run, and that was all Rory McManus, folks, as he broke a tackle and then another and then outran the defense to the end zone and scores the touchdown to make it 48-8. The Raiders, they look like they're going to try to kick the extra point here, as again, Conway Collins will set to hold for Jake Millard, the junior kicker for the Lyman Raiders. And here a low snap, but dug out, and this one is blocked. But there also is a penalty flag that comes out. So let's sort this out, and maybe White River jumped the snap, and they did. I thought that they had a blocker. That was Kendrell Krabos that got in there in a hurry. They will go half the distance to the goal line, and now Lyman looks like they're going to go for 2 as Millard comes off the field. You make it a yard play and make it a little easier for the offense to put points on, score the 2-point conversion. So McManus will line up at the D back in the I formation. Long, split out to the left. Gorno will call his own number, and the quarterback sneak is true and in for the 2-point conversion. 1:02 remains in the first half. 50-8. The lead belongs to the Lyman Raiders, and Lyman will kick off in 1 minute on KPLO.
Imagine what it would look like if we didn't have companies to haul away our unwanted things. Just take a second to think about it. Not pretty, is it? Byrie Brothers in Chamberlain can and does clean up that picture. They're here to help with all of your disposal needs, whether it's weekly pickup of household trash or you have a special project that needs a large container. Byrie Brothers will help you with whatever you need done. Give them a call at 234-5771. Byrie Brothers in Chamberlain. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call them today.
Is your truck or fleet insurance a one-size-fits-all approach? The commercial line agents at Fisher Rounds & Associates know that each company fleet, owner-operator, or ag producer has unique coverage needs. We understand all the risks and liabilities, so we can create a customized policy that ensures you are fully covered. We're at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds and Associates, serving your truck insurance needs with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
Scoring drive for Lyman. They go 58 yards in 5 plays as Rory McManus runs it in from 18 yards out. And a kickoff for Lyman, fielded by fielded by Tegan Bauman of White River. And Bauman will run the football up across the 35 to the 37-yard line. And White River with 1 timeout remaining. 53 seconds remain on the clock. Decent position here to start a drive. And again, White River will wind up with the football to start the second half. Lyman won the toss, elected to have the football. White River kicked an onside kick and recovered it to start the football game, and then not able to do much with it offensively. And that, as things worked out, Lyman was eventually able to control field position. They had some short field opportunities and have throughout most of this first half, but especially in that opening quarter, they scored a lot of points in a hurry. Here it's 1st and 10 for White River. Fulker's back to pass, fires it upfield. It's caught. A nice pitch and catch there, and the reception made, and a nice gain, close to 10 yards, as the reception made by Evestein Wright. As he moves the football up past the 35, they give him forward progress to the 36, and that is enough for a first down. They'll reset the chains, and the clocks will continue to run. We'll see what type of urgency that White River has here as time winds down in this first half. Again, they have a timeout left to use as well as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Running back alongside the quarterback, Fulkers, as he takes the snap and is back to pass. Deep ball thrown in traffic, and it is incomplete. Tegan Bowman with the intended receiver, but for White River, that pass goes incomplete as Braden Oldenkamp and others were back there in coverage. Tegan Gorno and Tance Wagner were there as well. Oldenkamp, though, knocked it down and incomplete, and it will bring up a 2nd down and 10 situation. Clock is stopped with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Now White River will approach the football. Quarterback will take the snap, Fulkers, and they'll take a knee, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. Scoreboard comes to you from Darren Boyle Sales. Check out the large selection of new and used farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre, including new bale spears from Maxilator. We've got several different types of bale spears. If you need one, we've got it at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at DarrenBoyleSales.com. 50-8 is our score at halftime. Our halftime report from the folks at my right seat is next. We will pause for 3 minutes on KPLO.
Ray Hybrids is dedicated to the success of their northern farmers. They provide industry-leading technology backed by agronomic expertise that fits the unique needs of local farmers. Choose Ray Hybrids for custom northern farming solutions. They know the North. Contact Buy Right Seeds in Miller or Darren Boyle Sales in Fort Pierre to learn more. Always read and follow stewardship and pesticide label directions.
Welcome to White River's gathering spot for family and friends. Lance and Tracy Tucker, new owners of the Roundup Bar and Grill, invite you to join them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The Roundup Bar and Grill offers great food, great service, and cold beverages. Lance and Tracy are looking forward to seeing you at the Roundup. Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and midnight on weekends, with breakfast and noon specials. Let's go Tigers! Best of luck to the White River Tigers from the Roundup Bar and Grill in White River.
Chamberlain Ready Mix has been serving the Chamberlain area since 1952, providing outstanding customer service on any job. With 8 radio dispatch trucks, you can rest assured they'll have your concrete there on time when you need it. Chamberlain Ready Mix can handle any ready mix task with their concrete pumping service, whether it's delivery for a basement, road, or any other concrete need. For all of your ready mix needs, contact Chamberlain Ready Mix today, 734-5741, 734-5741.
For the biggest and best selection of hunting and fishing supplies and food and gas all in one stop, it's Oasis Pump and Pack Sinclair in Oklahoma. Use your Dino Pay app to save money on every tank of gas. Oasis Pump and Pack offers the largest cold beverage offerings in the region, and they're your home for hot stuff pizza, food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and grab-and-go snacks. Open daily 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Oasis Pump and Pack in Oklahoma, proud of our area students and their participation in the many school activities that enrich all our lives.
Kennebec Telephone Company Incorporated and their divisions, Charlie's Welding and Auto Repair, KTC Construction, PowerCom, TCS, and Napa of Chamberlain proudly support all area youth in their activities. Since 1908, Kennebec Telephone Company has provided the Lyman area with high-speed internet, local and long-distance telephone service, excavating, sprinkler systems, electrical work, computer repair, smart homes and farms, auto and welding repair, and Napa Auto Parts. Call their office and find out what they can do for you.
Local businesses are what shape a community, and BJ's Food Center in Kennebec takes pride in providing the Kennebec area everything you could want from a local grocery store. Fresh produce, hand-cut meats, snacks, and weekly specials throughout the store. Plus great customer service with a friendly staff to help you find whatever you're looking for. Everybody at BJ's Food Center wishes Raiders best of luck in their competition and supports the Raiders in all of their school activities and athletics.
Before we talk about a 50-8 lead for the Lyman Raiders, let's pause for station identification. This is Regional High School football.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety, KPLO 94.5 Reliance Chamberlain, 100.5 Pier Fort Pier. Arrive alive. Don't text and drive.
With John Neff at DRG Media Group's World Headquarters, my name's Darren Boyle. We thank you for joining us for coverage of Regional High School football tonight. Homecoming night for the Lyman Raiders. And we are here at halftime, a 50-8 lead for Lyman, and the Raiders have looked sharp offensively. They have scored via the air and on the ground. White River's offense has shown signs of life in the second quarter. We have a lot of highlights to talk about. Our halftime report brought to you by the folks at Buy Right Seed. Let's go right to the opening kickoff. Hey, Lyman wins the toss. They elect to receive to have the football, so White River goes, well, let's just go onside kick. They do that, and they're able to cover it up. And on the first play of the game turns out to be a turnover for Lyman, which was one of 2 turnovers that they had in the first half. But White River, who had the football at midfield, not able to do anything with it as they wound up having to, they went for it and wound up turning the football over. Lyman lines up with the football at their own 44-yard line. On their first possession, it did not take them long to get to the end zone. They score with 8:30 remaining in the opening quarter, and it was Cooper Long who takes it in from 1 yard out on a touchdown pass from Tegan Gorneau. McManus alone in the backfield. Gorneau back to pass, looking, quick pass thrown, and it is caught for a touchdown. And that is a 1 yard touchdown run as Cooper Long with the reception. 2-point conversion was no good, and the Raiders got the lead early, capping off that 5-play, 56-yard drive, and they led 6-0. The Raiders score quickly after White River was stymied deep in their own territory. One of the few times that the ball was actually kicked deep, and Aaron Erickson had an interception of White River quarterback Gavin Folkers, which gave Lyman another short field to work with, and that was a theme that Lyman was able to take advantage of a lot in the first half. 2 plays, 35 yards on this scoring drive. Again, it's Cooper Long, and again, it's from quarterback Tegan Gorneau. We'll see if he comes in motion. He won't. It's play action, back to pass. It is Gorneau, and the deep ball thrown, and it's Cooper Long, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. Terrence Wagner ran in the 2-point conversion, and it was 14-0. Lyman was out in front. And again, White River stymied, not able to do a lot, and had trouble with the fourth down play, actually, as the punter wound up losing the snap and getting tackled. Again, it gave the short field to Lyman. They were able to capitalize again. 5:18 remained in the opening quarter. The third touchdown of that opening quarter scored by Lyman, and this time it was Terrence Wagner who ran it in from 32 yards out. And Lyman will just hand it off. Good blocking. It's Terrence Wagner with it. Wagner's going to run it in for a touchdown. 32 yards out. Terrence Wagner scores the touchdown. Jake Millard kicked the extra point. And that is where we closed out at the end of the opening quarter. It was a 3-play, 44-yard scoring drive. Lyman was out in front by a 21-0 score. Raiders were able to get the football early in quarter number 2, and again, they showed big playability. It was a long run by Terrence Wagner that set up this touchdown, the third caught by Cooper Long. Touchdown pass from Tegan Gorneau, his third touchdown of this first half. Football. Here is Gorneau, the deep ball thrown, looking for Long, and he has caught it, and that's a touchdown. Terrence Wagner ran in the 2-point conversion early in quarter number 2. The Raiders were out in front by a 29-8 score. But White River continued to try to make things happen offensively, and they have started to find some things that have worked as they try to use the short passing game and try to get some yardage after the catch, if you will. And they were able to put points on the board as they were backed up to their own 15-yard line after a holding penalty on first down, made it 1st and 20. They moved it back to the 15-yard line. White River decides to throw the deep ball, and they get a pass upfield. It was caught by Kendrell Cuevas, and he was able to do the rest 85 yards out, and the White River Tigers are on the scoreboard. Back to pass, slings it upfield into double coverage, and the pass is caught. And breaking away is Kendrell Cuevas, and he is gone. Touchdown, White River. Tegan Bowman ran in or received the 2-point conversion pass from Gavin Folkers. It was an 85-yard drive that took one play. And White River was on the scoreboard at the 10:03 mark of the second quarter. It was Lyman 29, White River 8. But the next possession, in fact, it took Lyman 15 seconds to put the points on the board as they give the rock to Terrence Wagner. And from 53 yards out, the young running back was able to do business for the Lyman Raiders. Wagner looking for running room, a little more and a little more as he works down the sideline on a stiff arm. Frees some space. He breaks another tackle, and he will take it in for a touchdown. 53-yard Terrence Wagner run. The kick for the extra point was no good. 35-0 Lyman. And the Raider defense gave up yardage to White River, but White River was not able to get any more points on the board. White River, they wound up going for it as they had the football at about their own 30-yard line, decided to go for it on fourth down. The quarterback, Gavin Folkers, was sacked by Lyman, and again, the Raiders had a short field to work from the White River 22-yard line. The Raiders were able to put the ball in. 4 plays later, it was Tegan Gorneau that called his own number for 6 points for the Lyman Raiders. And Gorneau will keep it himself. The bootleg left, and he will race to the end zone, and he is in for a touchdown. 5-yard Tegan Gorneau run. Capped off, as we said, a 4-play, 22-yard scoring drive. That made it 42-8 after Jake Millard kicked the extra point. 42-8 the score, and we played back and forth. White River was able to move the ball, but could not get it into the end zone. They drive, pick up a few first downs, wind up turning the football over on downs. The Raiders eventually, their last drive of the football game, got them the football at the White River 42-yard line, or actually at their own 42-yard line. 5 plays later, the Raiders were able to get on the scoreboard once again. This time, it's Rory Manis with the offensive opportunity. He makes the most of it as he hustles it in from 18 yards out. It's back. McManus looking for running room. That's the same play. McManus will break a tackle, get to the outside. He's at the 10, at the 5, and he is in for a touchdown. That is an 18-yard Rory McManus run, and that was all Rory McManus, folks. He takes it in from 18 yards out. They try to kick the extra point. White River blocked it, but an offside penalty moves it half the distance to the goal line. So the Raiders bring the kicker off the field. They decide to go for 2. It's Tegan Gorneau with the quarterback sneak in. for the 2-point conversion. That was good, and that was with 1:02 remaining in the first half. And Lyman with a 50-8 lead over White River as we get ready to start the second half. High school volleyball tomorrow night. We will be in Gettysburg as Potter County hosts hosts Miller. We'll have that for you with a pregame show at around 6:40 or so tomorrow. 7 o'clock with the match coverage from Gettysburg. Next week, we will have volleyball, Potter County at Highmore Herald. That match coverage will commence at around 7 o'clock. Thursday night, Lyman's Raider volleyball team. We'll get our first look at them as they travel to Oneida to take on Sully Buttes. Again, our match coverage there at around 7:15. Football next Friday night. It will be Miller Highmore Herald at Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central. That football game will be played at Wessington Springs, and we'll have it for you tomorrow, or next Friday night, 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff next Friday night here on KPLO. It is 50-8 Lyman. White River will have the football after we take a 3-minute break. We'll start the second half on KPLO.
This broadcast of the Lyman Raiders is brought to you in part by Rumen Ag and Pioneer Seeds in Presho. Craig and Logan Rumen proudly support Lyman Raiders athletics and activities. Contact Rumen Ag today for all of your seed, chemical, and crop consulting needs. If you're looking to maximize your yields, Rumen Ag is your local Pioneer Seed dealer. Good luck, Raiders. From Craig and Logan Rumen of Rumen Ag Pioneer Seeds in Presho.
Halverson Oil in Kennebec would like to say good luck to everyone competing in this year's school activities. They also invite you to stop in before or after the game for premium diesel, gas, or premium 91 octane to get you back on the road. Their full C-store offers a wide variety of snacks for the family and a large selection of drinks to keep your athletes hydrated. Have fun this school year and stay safe. Halverson Oil is a proud sponsor of the Lyman Raiders in all their activities.
At First Interstate Bank in Chamberlain, they know that champions play as one team with one goal. And they also know that champions don't just happen. They are built with determination and the right mix of teammates. You can count on First Interstate Bank as a trustworthy teammate that will go the extra mile to help you win. To learn more, visit First Interstate Bank in Chamberlain today. First Interstate Bank in Chamberlain, member FDIC.
Jet Lanes invites you to stop in for some great food and great fun on the lanes. Challenge your friends to a match or just hang out and relax. Jet Lanes serves steaks, burgers, made-to-order pizzas, and much more from their full menu. You can also watch your favorite game. Jet Lanes in Presho, downtown P-Town's #1 fun spot, and a proud supporter of all area youth in their sports and activities. There's Thursday Night Lights and all of the weekend highlights, but nothing beats Monday nights with Monday Night Football on Venture High Def TV. You'll catch all the action starting Monday, September 12th. Tune into ESPN Channel 21 as the Broncos head to Lumen Field and take on the Seahawks at 7 p.m. Venture Communications, your home for ESPN and Monday Night Football. Call Venture Communications today for High Def TV service and more. 852-2224.
The future of our region lies in the young people who are involved in athletics, music, art, and drama, and the many other activities in our schools. Kimball Livestock Exchange in Kimball congratulates everyone that contributes and competes. We're proud of you all and happy to support the many activities in our schools. Kimball Livestock Exchange has a sale every Tuesday. For sale information or to consign, call the barn at 778-6211.
We would like to say hello to those of you joining us worldwide at our website, drgnews.com, with John F. at DRG Media Group's World Headquarters. I'm Darren Boyle. Of course, we'll archive this contest. It will be there for your viewing pleasure at the KPLO page at our website, drgnews.com. 50-8 is our score as we get set to start the second half. The Raiders, who won the toss, but again lost the football via the onside kick that White River had to start the football game, they'll kick it away. White River will have it first here to start the second half. We will have a running clock the rest of the way as Lyman has that 42-point lead unless White River can score a bunch of points and get it inside of 20 points, I believe. The deficit will have a running clock here unless there's an injury or either team determines that they want to stop the clock via a timeout. It will be Dalton Moore who will kick off, and back deep it will be Evestine Wright who will field. Tegan Bauman with the return, and Bauman will not get far. He will cross the 25, and he will get to the 29-yard line, and that is where White River will have the football 1st and 10. As we work through the first half of football, though, especially as we went into the second quarter, White River did find some things to work. That short passing game, kind of allowing their receivers to run after the catch, made it very difficult for Lyman, who was playing pass after they got that lead early in the ball game. But they were able to move the sticks quite a bit, and they were able to get that 185-yard touchdown, but no other points than that, as we'll see what they do here. Gavin Folkers has done a solid job at quarterback. He's been under a lot of pressure and sacked 4 times in the ball game as well. Out of the gun, he takes the snap, back to pass. The pass is made. Reception is made, we should say. As Evestine Wright with the reception on the far side will not get far. Good coverage there on the part of the Raiders. Braden Oldenkamp and others in there to make the stop. Also chasing over there from a linebacker spot, the junior Rory McManus. A gain of a yard on the play will bring up 2nd down. So White River will work in and out of the huddle as Folkers will again work out of the shotgun formation. They kind of show a little bit of a double wing look as Folkers will take the snap and go back to pass. Now he's under a little bit of pressure and in the grasp as he throws the football to the outside. They're going to rule it incomplete, but that could have been a grounding penalty there. Again, he was under pressure, and that's the judgment call that the back judge has when he looks to whether or not it's intentional grounding or not. Quarterback can get rid of the football. He doesn't have to be outside the pocket to throw it away as long as there is no pressure. But if he's under pressure and it appears like he's going to be sacked, he needs to throw it downfield and towards an intended receiver, or it's intentional grounding, or at least that's how I understand it. An incomplete pass makes it 3rd down and 9 as Folkers will take the snap, a little 3-step drop out of the gun. He'll roll to his left, fire the deep ball. The receiver got behind the defender, but the pass was wide and out of bounds. Evestine Wright got behind Braden Oldenkamp, and the pass was thrown over his head, and it was also off of his left shoulder to the outside and incomplete, and it will bring up 4th down, and we will see what White River will do here. 9 minutes and 15 seconds remain in the third quarter as Folkers will back up into punt formation. The first time we have seen a punt in a while as Folkers fields a high snap, and this is a wobbly punt that Gorno will field from his own 35-yard line. Make a man miss, and then another. Spins out of a tackle, and he's still on the move. Gorno into White River territory, all the way down inside the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. And Gorno, Tegan Gorno with a nice punt return there. He let it bounce, he let it roll, and then fielded it on the roll, and he did a lot of that on his own as he was able to get up the sideline and get the football deep into White River territory, but this is going to come back on a penalty, it appears. There is a penalty flag all the way back at the Lyman 37-yard line, and that was an illegal block and a 10-yard mark off from there. And for the Raiders, they will start this drive at their own 27-yard line, 1st down and 10. 3rd penalty of the ball game for Lyman. They have been penalized 3 times for 30 yards. The Raiders with their first offensive possession of the second half. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion would end the football game via the mercy rule. We'll see how both of these teams play it. And in defense of both of these teams, short on numbers, it's really hard to sub down, especially for White River, who has, it looks like, 3, maybe 4 players over on the White River sidelines in uniform. So it's hard to sub down when you don't have the numbers to do so. So the starters remain in the game, and with White River starters remain in the game, Lyman starters will remain in the game, and that kind of makes sense as we work through this part of the ball game. A running play by Lyman will move the football across the 30 to the 33-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards. It will bring up second down and 4. Gorno under center. Wagner will be the D-back. That's McManus, pardon me, and Rory with the carry, tripped up at the 35. He'll fall forward to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line, and that will be enough for the first down. For White River, Tegan Bauman, Gavin Folkers in there to make the stop, but it will be a first down for Lyman as they have the football at the 38-yard line, 37-yard line, let's call it, first down and 10. Already nearing the 7.5-minute mark left in this third quarter. Again, they'll give the football off to McManus, who, again, will run through a would-be tackler and get his way across the 40 and up to the 44-yard line. That was the third play of the drive for Lyman that started back at the 27-yard line. A gain of 6 for McManus will make it second down and 4. And these are things, even though we are at the 4th game of the season for both of these teams, they still have a lot of things to play for and a lot of things that they want to improve on. So let's work the running game. Let's work the clock a little bit as the handoff and the running play. This is Kellen Griffin. Griffin on the move. Griffin inside the 20, inside the 10, still on his feet. And Kellen Griffin will run it in from 56 yards out. And Kellen Griffin will score the touchdown. And that makes it 56-8 with 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. A big 2-point conversion for these teams as Lyman trying to put an exclamation point on homecoming night. And White River wanting to play on in this ball game. Braden Oldenkamp is in there at quarterback for Lyman as he will walk him up to the line of scrimmage. McManus will be the deep back in the I formation. Receivers split out. That's Easton Robbins to the left side, and a handoff. McManus and Rory will run it in. The 2-point conversion is good, and that makes it 58-8 Lyman. And this ball game is final with 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. The Lyman Raiders pick up their 4th victory of the season. Our scoreboard comes to you from Darren Boyle Sales. Check out the large selection of new and used farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road and Ford Pier. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com. Our post game is next. We're back in 3 minutes on KPLO.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino from the App Store or Google Play. It only takes a moment, so you'll have it to replay this game. See live and archived video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino. Download it now at the App Store or Google Play. The staff at Dakota Prairie Bank is proud to support our young athletes in tonight's game. This time of year isn't just busy for them, but moms and dads and other sports fans as well. So when you're on the go, Dakota Prairie Bank provides services that make banking simpler for you, like their online banking. It's quick and convenient and a big help during this busy time of year. Good luck to all the participants from your fans at Dakota Prairie Bank, located in Fort Pierre with branches in Presho, Draper, and White River. Member FDIC.
Dakota Prairie Bank.
Hi, this is John at Car Swap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Chamberlain, South Dakota. We're having a huge truck blowout sale. $4,500 off of any new truck on our lot or $6,000 off of any ordered unit. Now that includes all rebates, including trade assist and finance. Only here at Car Swap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Chamberlain. CarSwapChrysler.com.
The Sweet Spot America Hotel and Business Center is now open in White River. Sweet Spot America offers pristine hotel rooms, conference room, fitness center, art and gift gallery, and wedding venue options, as well as a photography studio, massage therapist, and Santa Gleska University's GED program. 2 spaces still available for rent. General Ed and VOTEC classes will be starting soon. Call 259-3939 for more information. Good luck, White River Tigers, from Sweet Spot America Hotel and Business Center.
One thing I don't miss about football, the workouts. Hi, folks. This is RF Bowie, the owner of the Gus Stops and Bowie Foods. I have a lot of great memories playing football for the St. Mary's Cardinals and BHSU Yellow Jackets. The legendary Green Bay Packers coach, Vince Lombardi, said, "If you cheat on the practice field, you'll cheat in the game. If you cheat in the game, you'll cheat the rest of your life. Always give your best and good luck from Gus Stop Convenience Stores and Bowie Foods, where you'll spend less and eat better."
Access Health, Presho and Kennebec welcomes new and established patients, offering chronic and acute care for all ages, including evaluation for illness and injuries, immunizations, lab testing, wellness exams, and DOT and sports physicals. Same-day appointments are available, and most major insurances are accepted. Good luck this season, athletes, from Access Health, Presho and Kennebec, assuring access to quality health care.
Let's pause for station identification. This is Regional High School football.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety. KPLO 94.5 Reliance Chamberlain, 100.5 Pier Fort Pier. Put the phone down, focus on driving.
Lyman Raiders celebrate here a 58-8 victory to cap off homecoming week. A victory for the Lyman Raiders, who improved to 4-0 on the season. That will definitely help them. A victory here, those 50 points will definitely that they will get for this victory. Actually, they'll get 44 points for this victory, but it does help their seeding average. Currently, Lyman, the number 2 seed as far as the 9A playoffs are concerned, as we now have played the half of the regular season schedule. Most teams, in fact, most 9-man teams have 4 games remaining. Lyman has some big games upcoming, as they have matchups, next week. Actually, they'll have their bye week. Their next action, the 23rd of September, as they travel out to Wall to take on a very good Wall squad. And then games with Bennett County, Sully Buttes in the 7th of October, which we'll have here on KPLO. And they finish up with Lemon McIntosh. But what Lyman wants to be able to do is be able to get those victories and keep adding them up. And again, some big games for them upcoming, but they want to get as many seeding points as they can, playing for the best seeding position possible and try to stay home here in Presho as much as possible for their playoff run. For White River, they will drop to 1-3 on the season as they lose here. Their next action is in White River next week as they take on Wall. They have a matchup against Stanley County on the 23rd. And then they're off for the would be the 30th of September. Their next action would be against New Underwood on October 7th. They'll finish up their regular season schedule at actually they will host Phillip. Their final 2 regular season games are at home. White River has some work to do as they try to work their way into the 9AA playoffs. But here, a lot of points scored and a lot of offense from both of these teams when all was said and done. We start out with Lyman winning the toss, and they're winning the coin toss, decide to receive the football and go on offense first. And when they did that, White River went with an onside kick. They were able to cover it up, and they actually had the football to start the football game, not able to move much there, and wound up giving the football to Lyman. The Raiders had it starting their first drive of the football game at their own 44-yard line. They score at the 8:30 mark of the opening quarter. A Cooper Long 1-yard touchdown pass from Tegan Gorneau that capped off a 5-play, 56-yard drive. Scoring drive, or the 2-point conversion was a run that was stopped short, and Lyman had an early lead at 6-0. On the next possession, White River under pressure. Their quarterback, Gavin Folkers, winds up throwing an interception, a tip ball that wound up being intercepted by the Raiders' Aaron Erickson, and that gave a short field to Lyman, for Lyman to work. They score with 6:44 remaining in the opening quarter. Two-play, 35-yard drive. Again, it was Tegan Gorno with the touchdown pass. Again, it was caught by Cooper Long. That was from 34 yards out. Tance Wagner ran in the two-point conversion. The Raiders were out in front by a 14-0 score. The Raiders were able to score again at the 5:18 mark of the opening quarter, and again, a short field to work as they started a drive from White River's 44-yard line. It was Tance Wagner who ran it in from 32 yards out. Jake Millard kicked the extra point. Lyman led 21-0, and that was our score at the end of the opening quarter. Lyman had the football as we closed out the first and started the second quarter. They were able to score at the 10:54 mark of quarter number 2. Cooper Long with a 25-yard touchdown pass from Tegan Gorno. Again, a short field to work with. 2 plays, 47 yards in the scoring drive. Tance Wagner ran in the two-point conversion. The Raiders looked like they were going to pitch the shutout as they were out in front by a score of 29-0, but White River continued to battle. They put their points on the board at the 10:03 mark of the second quarter. Did not take them long to put points on the board. They started a drive at their own 25-yard line. They had a holding penalty on first down that moved it back to the 15, and they threw it deep. Down the field, Kendall Krabos with the reception. He broke a tackle and was able to do the rest of the work himself as he takes it in from 85 yards out. Tegan Bauman with the two-point conversion reception from Gavin Folkers. That made it 29-8. But it did not take long for Lyman to answer that. After the ensuing kickoff, and again, both of these teams really didn't appear to want to kick it deep. We saw a lot of squib kicks. We saw a lot of, I guess you would say, onside kick attempts or squib kicks that Lyman wound up getting one back from White River at one point in the football game in the opening quarter as well. The Raiders had the football at their own 47-yard line to start the ensuing drive after the White River touchdown, and Tance Wagner on the first play from scrimmage ran it 53 yards in for a touchdown. Kick for the extra point was no good, and Lyman again had the 20-plus point advantage as they led by a 35-8 score. Raiders score again, this time after White River decided to go for it on fourth down in their own territory and gave up the football at their own 22-yard line on downs. And Tegan Gorno engineered a 4-play, 42-yard scoring drive as Gorno ran it in from 5 yards out. Jake Millard kicked the extra point to make it 42-8. We played back and forth as White River was able to find the passing game that at least allowed them to pick up some first downs and move the chains a little bit and control the clock just a little bit, but could not get into the end zone again in the ballgame. The Raiders score with 1:02 remaining in the first half, capping off a 5-play, 58-yard scoring drive. It was Roy McManus that ran it in from 18 yards out. That made it Lyman 50 and White River 8 as we ended the first half. White River had the football first to start the second half. They went 3 and out, punted the football away. A long punt return by Tegan Gorno was called back. The Raiders wound up starting a drive deep in their own territory, and we go back to the highlight package as the Raiders were able to put points on the board. It was Kellen Griffin who ran it in from 56 yards out, and that was the game winner for the Lyman Raiders. The handoff and the running play. This is Kellen Griffin. Griffin on the move. Griffin inside the 20, inside the 10, still on his feet. And Kellen Griffin will run it in from 56 yards out. Raiders got the 2-point conversion to make it 58-8. And there's your ball game as the Raiders win it on the mercy rule. The Raiders improved to 4-0 on the season. And White River, with the loss, they dropped to 1-2 on the year. It's time for our big play of the game. It is brought to you by the folks at Golden Buffalo.
The KPLO Sports Big Play of the Game is brought to you by your winning destination, the Golden Buffalo Casino in Lower Brule, where you can play big. The Golden Buffalo Casino is proud of all our area youth and all of their accomplishments and activities. Your winning destination, the Golden Buffalo Casino in Lower Brule, is a proud sponsor of KPLO Sports Big Play of the Game.
Well, we could talk about a lot of big plays in this ball game because there were a lot of big plays. You could talk about White River coming out after the Raiders won the toss to kick the onside kick. The Raiders were able to put points on the board quickly after White River got the football and stole it away from Lyman. After the Raiders score their first touchdown of the ball game, they kick an onside kick. They were able to cover it up. Raiders were working with good field position, but being an old quarterback from back in the day, I love the long ball, and the White River Tigers scored a touchdown from 85 yards out. It was Kendall Cuevas from Gavin Folkers, and it is our big play of the game. Back to pass, slings it upfield into double coverage, and the pass is caught. And breaking away is Kendall Cuevas, and he is gone. Touchdown, White River. That was an 85-yard pass play that put White River on the board at the 10:03 mark of the second quarter, and it is our big play of the game, brought to you by the folks at Golden Buffalo. Finally, in our post game, it is our player of the game. And our player of the game is brought to you by the folks at CHS River Plains.
You asked, we listened. CHS River Plains now has grain marketing at the farm gate. Barb Gorjuski and Jason Euchre are hitting the country providing grain buying services where it's convenient for you. So whether you prefer to call and talk to our grain marketers or have the origination team come to you, we'll be there. We can help build a marketing plan, execute a current plan, and help decide when it's the best time and way to sell your crop so it's right for your operation and your bottom line. CHS River Plains, making it as convenient as possible to build a successful marketing plan for your specific needs.
Well, let's look at the player of the game nominees on the White River side first. The Tigers struggled offensively to start, but did find some things that worked for them in the second quarter. Gavin Folkers will wind up with some decent numbers as far as the passing game is concerned. Kendall Cuevas with that big touchdown reception. He caught a lot of balls to the outside. Ebestein Wright as well for White River. They definitely deserve some player of the game recognition. On the Lyman side, Cooper Long with 3 touchdown receptions in the ball game. Tance Wagner with a touchdown run. Kellen Griffin with a touchdown run. Rory McManus with some big defensive plays and a touchdown run as well. But Tegan Gorneau threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for another one and ran in an extra point as well. And that is player of the game worthy. Tegan Gorneau of the Lyman Raiders is our KPLO CHS River Plains player of the game. We should mention Minnesota Vikings football on KPLO. The Vikings back at work this Sunday as they will be at US Bank Stadium to host the Green Bay Packers. Kickoff at 3:25, Vikings pregame at 2:30. We are your home for Minnesota Vikings football, 94.5 FM KPLO. For us, volleyball action tomorrow night in Gettysburg. It will be Potter County hosting Miller, two of the area's best volleyball teams. Potter County from the Class B ranks and Miller from the Class A ranks. It should be a fun matchup in Gettysburg tomorrow night. Our match coverage will commence at around 7 o'clock. Volleyball on Tuesday night as we will be in Highmore as Potter County travels to Highmore to take on Highmore Herald. Again, our match coverage at around 7 o'clock. More volleyball on Thursday night. It will be in Lyman traveling to Oneida to take on Sully Buttes. Again, our match coverage at around 7 o'clock. Football action next Friday night. Miller Highmore Herald, who was in Lead Deadwood tonight. They will travel to Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central. We will have that game for you from Wessington Springs. 7 o'clock kickoff next Friday night, 6:40, with our pregame from Wessington Springs. The South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds you to keep your eyes on the road and not on your phone. We would like to thank those of you who have joined us worldwide at drgnews.com. Of course, we'll have this game archived for you in mere moments, and it is available for you on the KPLO page at our website, drgnews.com. Coverage of regional high school football tonight on KPLO brought to you by the First Interstate Bank of Chamberlain, by Halverson Oil, Room and Egg, BJ's Food Center, Kennebec Telephone, Oasis Pump and Pack, Chamberlain Ready Mix, Fisher Rounds and Associates, Byrie Brothers, Access Health of Presho and Kennebec, Bowie Foods, Carslop, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, by the Roundup Bar and Grill, Krogman Law Office, The Wigwam, the Sweet Spot American Hotel and Business Center, and the Dakota Prairie Bank. Coverage of regional high school sports on KPLO is brought to you by Darren Boyle Sales, CHS River Plains, the Golden Buffalo, By Right Seed, Agtegra, Riverview Power Sports in Ocoma, the South Dakota Attorney General's Division of Consumer Protection, Avera Orthopedics, the May Adam Law Firm, and Pottsville State Farm Insurance. Regional high school sports coverage on KPLO is also brought to you by the Jet Lanes, Venture Communications, Kimball Livestock, Titan Machinery, and Wagner Auto Company of Pierre. John Neff has been our technical director at DRG Media Group's world headquarters, and I'm Darren Boyle, again from Press Show. Our final score tonight, the Lyman Raiders 58 and the White River Tigers 8, and we bid you all a very, very pleasant evening.